of what you talk about every year in the annual report or the annual letter is you lay out how each of the insurance companies have done. You lay out how each of the businesses have done. Someone named Lattice Work with M&G writes in and says, how has the latest rise of extreme weather events changed the calculus faced by Ajit Jain in reinsurance? And I know you talk to Ajit just about every day.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think the public has the impression that because there's been so much talk about climate, that events of the last 10 years from an insured standpoint in climate have been unusual. The answer is they haven't. I mean, you read about these events, but you were reading about events 30 or 40 or 50 years ago, and we've been remarkably free of hurricanes in the United States in the last 5 years. So if you were writing hurricane insurance, it's been all profit. There have been some more tornadoes than normal, but it's not had any effect in terms so far. The effects of climate change, if any, have not affected they have not affected the insurance market.
They haven't. So no. That's not something at all that you guys have changed your calculus.
I've made no difference. I calculate the probabilities in terms of catastrophes no differently than a few years ago.
Yeah, hey, Warren,
that may change in 10 years.
Yeah, 10,000. I think it's been 3,000 days since something like a Category 2 hit landfall. That's the longest in history for a hurricane. And you mentioned tornadoes. Last year it was actually well below. I don't know about if you add up all the recent years, but I watched you after Al Gore's big year. It was a horrible year, but the one that he said we're going to have, it's going to be repeated year after year, the one where he had, we went through the whole Greek alphabet and started again with hurricanes. I watched you. Yeah. You knew, and you knew that was going to be an opportunity to raise premiums and then not really have many events over the, and it played out exactly like you thought. I don't know how you do it.
I love apocalyptic predictions on it because you're right. It probably does affect rates. And the truth is that writing U.S. hurricane insurance has been very profitable in the last 5 or 6 years. And now the rates have come down very significantly. So we aren't writing much, if anything, in the U.S. Our biggest single cat risk would be earthquakes in New Zealand.
Yeah, but what do you think of the perception right now? I mean, I think it's from the mainstream media, but we are under the impression that adverse weather events are happening every couple of days, and it's never been like this before in history. For some reason, that's what people tell me, and it's nice to be able to include them all into one thing. When you can include droughts, floods, too much snow, too little snow. When you can include it all into one big thing, it makes it look like you're pretty smart.
It hasn't been true so far, Joe.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you.
I mean,
I know. I know.
We always think it's cold. We always think it's cold normal, but it was cold normal 50 years ago.
The only thing that's weird is the Great Lakes I think they're almost totally frozen over. I don't know if we've ever seen that. I think we got one more to go or something, so that's a little weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Well, we don't insure against that.